I'm the Executive Director of Hope's Promise, an adoption and orphan care agency in Castle Rock, Colorado. The focus of our ministry is placing children with Christian families. Hope's Promise began when our founder, Paula Freeman, had a difficult time with the international adoption of her daughter, Hope. Afterwards, she made a promise to Hope that she was going to change the way adoption was practiced and make it easier for children to come home to Christian families. She then founded Hope's Promise in 1990, and since then, we've placed over 1,000 children through domestic and intercountry adoption.
We were excited about the adoption process and of course had many options of agencies to choose from. And even though we had all of those options, it was so clear to us when we met with Hope's Promise that they stood out leaps and bounds above the rest. I will never forget the phone call that changed our lives forever. And we were told that an expected mother had selected us and wanted to set up a match meeting. And that was the beginning of our journey to our first daughter. And now we have two beautiful daughters.
I think it's very safe to say that the way that God brought us down this road was part of His plan to shape us and His plan for our family.
And adoption is our story, but that's just one of the many things that Hope's Promise does. They made our beautiful family possible.
In addition to serving adoptive families, we also serve women and men experiencing a crisis pregnancy.
I found out that I was pregnant during my junior year of college. I was sitting in my bathroom holding a positive pregnancy test in my hand and didn't know what to do or where to turn to for help. The moment I walked into Hope's Promise, I knew I'd found a safe place. They welcomed me with loving arms and sat me down and talked through my parenting options and provided the counseling that I needed to make the best decision for me and my child.
Adrienne chose to make an adoption plan for her daughter, but many of the women and men we counsel choose to parent their children. We believe we're not just called to serve those making adoption plans, but also to support those who choose to parent. We provide free options counseling, support in making a parenting plan, and referrals to community resources so they can be equipped for success in their parenting journey. Over the years, it became apparent that adoption couldn't be the only option to serve at-risk children. With over 145 million children orphaned worldwide, less than 0.5% will ever be adopted. In response to this need, Hope's Promise developed a global orphan care program with a unique model of care. We believe that God intended for children to grow up in families, so we developed a program where orphan children are placed with families in their own country and their own community.
Beth and I decided that we were going to sponsor a child through Hope's Promise. We ended up sponsoring a young girl named Stacy. Stacy had a rough beginning in her life, a very rough beginning. But through Hope's Promise, she entered into a small home that was loving and caring, and she is just thriving, and she is just becoming such a beautiful young lady. It is just amazing to watch her grow up. It is a privilege to be a part of an organization that's really making a difference in the world.
By serving orphan children globally, helping women and men in crisis pregnancy, and bringing children home through adoption, Hope's Promise is changing the world, one child at a time.